Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Holistic Witch's Cottage. My name is Melissa, and I am the Holistic Witch, and today I am recording part 2 of a very witchy Easter. It is Good Friday at the time of this recording, so I felt like I had a lot more to say yesterday that didn't get said, and I was going long, so we're just going to do a part 2 on it. So we'll see how that goes. So the first part is going to be the not so fun, happy part, and then the first part of today's recording will be the not so fun, not so happy part, and then the second part we'll get into more with the recipes and the folklore and some traditions around the world and some wild and wacky stuff. But today is Good Friday, and for me that is a difficult day. So yesterday I talked a little bit about some of the hate that I was seeing out on social media, the hate against Christians, but the hate specifically against anyone who falls under that Christian witch, pagan, omnist umbrella. And like I said yesterday, that seems to amp up, and it usually gets very, very bad on Good Friday. So we're at Good Friday, and yes, I did see some of that and even received a couple hate messages, which always happens. But okay, so we're going to move on from that because I get it. I do. I get it. I understand that sometimes people leave a strict Christian environment to different spiritual environments because of abuse or mistreatment or hate or family conflict that may arise, and that's when they choose a new life path, they completely walk away from the old one. And I completely respect that, and I understand that, and I have my own stages of deconstruction as well. So I saw a meme this morning, and I hope it helps. I don't know how much it's helping me, but I hope it helps. And it said, I hope you heal from the things that you can't talk about. And the Easter Holy Week, Good Friday especially, and Easter Sunday too, that's one of those things in my life that I'm still healing from. I found my own healing and found my own path to deal with my own deconstruction. And I am not fully healed from it because I had a tremendously terrible nightmare about my church experience last night. I know what some triggers are in my personal life right now that aren't necessarily church related, but they're sort of related to the same people. Because when you live in a small town, it's hard to avoid certain people, certain family groups, whatever. But I had a terrible dream last night in regards to old church deconstruction. Maybe it was partly because I was talking about some of my mom's deal about making the Easter basket to go be blessed, and Holy Week was like a huge thing in our church. It started Wednesday, it went right up through Sunday, and there was a lot going on, and there were a lot of requirements, and I was fully immersed in that many years ago. And then something happened. We had a change of priest. The priest that we had in our Eastern Rite Catholic Church, not affiliated with the Roman Catholic Church in any way. Our priest was leaving. Priests in our church were permitted to be married. And our priest was leaving because the Roman Catholic diocese was low on clergy, and they had made a rule that they were going to accept priests, married priests from other denominations during a certain time period. So our priest decided to leave and go to the Roman Catholic Church because the pay was better and the retirement was better, and it was that type of decision, and I get it. So we got a new priest, a replacement priest, and things got weird really fast. I had been involved in children's programming. I was on like the board of directors. Something inappropriate, something icky happened, and I ended up leaving the church, and I struggled with that because I didn't deconstruct from the spiritual part of it. I didn't deconstruct from the religious part of it. I just was sort of forced out. It had to do with money. It had to do with politics. Sound familiar in what's happening in our world today. It had to do with certain people in power that were maybe bothered, jealous, or concerned about my views on certain things. And the other thing, it was just purely pettiness. There was also a situation where the new priest had made an unwanted advance towards me that was turned down, and that's where things sort of spiraled out of control. So I do understand and comprehend how previous church trauma can affect your future path and what you want to see on your future path. Now, in my world, I have no problem blending the secular parts of Easter with my witchy path. I do still hold on to some Christian traditions, although I lean much more Gnostic now, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I do still hold on to some former traditions. So Good Friday's a weird one for me. So I had this horrible dream about being forced to go back into the church where all these bad things had happened, and people screaming at me that I wasn't welcome. Some of the chants we know from Palm Sunday, crucify him, crucify him. Not really unlike what happened to Jesus. That Jesus, the historical Jesus, was hung on that cross because of power struggles. And so I had this unpleasant dream, and I had to think about it a little bit this morning. And first of all, did I want to share this on the podcast? I'm sharing because I hope it helps somebody, because it's okay. I think it's okay to still want a connection to a previous spirituality, but not want to have anything to do with the people that you're deconstructing from. So where do you move forward with that, and how do you construct your own path and your own traditions to move forward from that? So whatever you're healing from, I wish you healing from those things that you are not comfortable talking about. So let's get on with the fun part of this. So more traditions. So in my past, we were expected to be in church from noon until 3, and it was a time of silence. And then at 3 o'clock, there was a brief sermon, and then we were supposed to be in silence until Saturday, and then we weren't allowed to eat much either. It was very, very, very strict. Well, not observing any of that anymore, but what I think I might do today, if the weather cooperates, in symbolism, in solidarity with that journey of the historical Jesus having to walk to the cross. Sometimes they have crosswalks, or at least they used to in our area. I haven't seen one advertised in a long time. I know on our Rails to Trails how it's paced out to be a certain distance. So yesterday I went back out on the bike, and I found little Bridget with one little pussy willow tuft starting to open. I found little Bridget. So I might go out on the trail again, contemplate on that horrible journey that Jesus had to walk, and go visit my little pussy willow tree, which is for me a symbol of new life and resurrection. I think I'm going to make that my new Good Friday tradition, to go visit the pussy willow trees out in the forest. Whatever works for you, whatever brings you joy, whatever brings you calmness, reduces stress from your life, that's what I would invite you to do today. So some traditions that I was looking up, I want to talk more about this tyromancy thing, this divination with cheese. So I don't know that I would traditionally serve Swiss cheese or blue cheese with the Easter meal, but apparently some people do. So if you're reading Swiss cheese, you count the holes in the cheese, and you can do that as like a numerology thing. So if you see a pattern in the number of holes, your divination would be like numerology, like 111, new beginnings, or patterns of 3, stop and rethink, or whatever correspondence you use for numerology. With blue cheese, the cheese diviners are literally reading the patterns of blue in the blue cheese to see what it resembles, sort of like when you read patterns in tea leaves. I don't know that I've ever bought like a block of blue cheese, and if my husband listens to this before he goes to the grocery store today, I am not requesting a block of blue cheese. I do not want one, so please do not bring one home. But they are literally reading what the blocks of the crumbly blue look like in the cheese. So if somebody wants to try something new for Easter or any time, I suppose you could do that. That could be weird and cool, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so that's tyromancy. I think the one I might play around with today is alluromancy. That's the divination of reading flour or reading the batter patterns on the bowl. So I am planning on making a cake, so I think I am going to try to read the batter patterns on the bowl, on the sides of the bowl, after I mix the cake mix with my KitchenAid mixer. So I'm going to play with that, and I will let you know on social media, or maybe on another podcast next week. Let you know how that turned out, and if that was funny or a complete waste of time, or how that turned out. So what else is happening? So I saw this other one. I don't know how to say it in Polish. It's like Smigus Dinkus or something. On Easter Monday, they have water battles for purification. So in Polish tradition, you can throw water on people you don't like, and then the girls would whip the boys with willow branches. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I laughed when I read it. In some countries, they do fireworks to symbolize resurrection and for the smoke to chase away the negativity. I like that. I thought that was cool. There is a tradition about flying chocolate bells that chase away demons. I don't know if I've ever seen like chocolate bell-shaped candy at Easter, but it's cool. If I saw it, I would maybe buy it and try it. That's cool. The thing with the Easter bonnets. Now, I am kind of known locally for wearing wacky hats that I make myself because I'm weird and I do it just to annoy people. I don't really do the Easter bonnet thing, but I did see that at our dollar store they had some $1 cheap sun hats. So maybe I will make some ridiculous Easter bonnet, and I have a lot of like spooky crochet, like little ghosties left over. And maybe I can put some weird crap on it and some evil demonic bunnies. I was making some weird loaf bunnies last night. Maybe I'll put some on a hat and go out around the neighborhood and scare people. That could be funny. Easter outfits, traditionally pastel. I don't really do the dress things so much anymore unless it's like the really hot part of summer. But I could probably come up with something that's pink and wear it with my black combat boots. That might be fun. So whatever you need to do, whatever traditions you need to create in your own life to bring you joy and get through religious deconstruction and holiday trauma, do it. Whatever it is, however weird it needs to be for you or however silly it needs to be for you, go ahead and do it. So I said I was going to get back to like the Gnostic Jesus thing, and I don't want to forget that. So other than, I do still hang on to a little bit of the Catholic trappings. I really like prayer beads, and I have a lot of rosaries, and we have some crosses and icons in the house. I don't attend Mass anymore. I was invited by someone I know to go to church, but it had like so many rules to it. She's like, oh, we were told to invite people to church. Now you're not allowed to come to communion. You have to sit in the back. Bring at least $20 because they'll be mad if you put less than that in the plate. Like, there was this whole list of regulations that she gave me, and I was like, why would I do that to myself? That's crazy. So again, whatever brings you joy. If attending church services brings you joy, that's great. If finding other ways to connect with your spirituality feels more authentic, then do that. Now, from a Gnostic perspective, from some Gnostic perspectives, Jesus was hung on that cross, but he did not literally die. It's more like a conspiracy story that they faked the death of Jesus so they could get Jesus, and in some Gnostic circles they believe that Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene, so they got Jesus and Mary and his mother Mary out of that area. They moved them to the east for a while, and then they moved them up north to France. They were in Britain for a bit. They were in France, and There's even some stories among the Druid cultures that Jesus was with them for a while, because there are some who believe that Joseph of Arimathea, he was the keeper of that tomb, that he was associated with and maybe even practiced Druidry. So my own personal beliefs sort of lean that way now, for what it's worth. Whatever you need to do to find peace in your soul, find that. Whatever it is, it's okay. You do not have to justify your beliefs to me. You do not have to justify your beliefs to other people. Whatever silly traditions you want to bring into your holidays, into your culture, into your life to bring you joy, I hope you heal from those things that you can't talk about. And I guess we'll end that with the appearance of 3, 2, 1. Hello, jingle jingle, it's me, Momo the Wonder Dog. I apologize if the sound quality was weird today. It often sounds weird when I record it. When I go back and play it back, especially on Spotify, it always sounds much better than what I'm hearing on my end. So I apologize if there's some sound cutouts. The internet's a little weird today because of the weather. Whatever you're doing for the holidays, I wish you well. Momo, what do you have to say about it? I just woke up, Mom. Don't bug me. Yeah, we could go to Rural King and look at chickens. I don't want to look at chickens. Do you want to go to Rural King and look at chickens? I don't want to look at chickens. You want to go to Rural King and look at bunnies? I don't want to look at bunnies. Do you want a yummy? You didn't even look up for that. What's going on, buddy? All right. Happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating. I wish you well. I wish you yummy, yummy treats. And lots of candy if you eat that. Maybe a nice glass of wine. Lots of yummy coffee. And a wonderful day. And I hope your weather is awesome. Possum. Wherever you are, blessings on your journey. Bye-bye.